Good evening, WVSOM community, esteemed guests, and our honored visitor. I am Dr. Dawn Roberts. I'm the Associate Dean for Multicultural and Student Affairs here at WVSOM. It is with profound gratitude and excitement that we welcome you all to WVSOM. Hosting an individual of such cultural and spiritual significance is a true honor to our institution. Your presence here this evening enriches our understanding of global traditions, wisdom, and healing practices, which resonates deeply with our mission to foster a holistic approach to healthcare. This extraordinary event would not be possible without the efforts and the vision of Dr. Catherine Calloway, a proud WVSOM alumna and Regional Assistant Dean for the Southwest Central Region. Dr. Calloway is an exemplary osteopathic physician whose career has been defined by a dedication to service and global outreach. Her work has taken her to Cambodia, Mozambique, Rwanda, and beyond, cultivating relationships that bridge cultures and create opportunities and meaningful exchange. Through her tireless efforts and connections, Dr. Calloway has brought us this unparalleled opportunity to engage with the Chief State Oracle and learn from his insights. We thank her for her unwavering commitment to advancing our understanding of spiritual, cultural, and medicine as well. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Calloway and in expressing our deepest gratitude for her remarkable contributions.
Okay, that was way too gracious. I am just a person who's from Lewisburg and Charleston. I'm a West Virginian. I came to this school later in life. I didn't go to medical school till I was 30. This is my medical school home. This is a place that we have known and loved my whole life and upbringing. And it is a really, really special place with special students and faculty and staff. And I think that we are part of just an incredible community all the way around. I happen to work in global health. That was my calling, that was my path. And as is in life, some of the most beautiful things that unfold for all of us are just these experiences that we have and the connections that we make, whether it's someone that we've known for a long time or someone that we meet on a train someplace. And every time those doors open and we walk through them, you never know what's on the other side of that door. And this story is really born from that. I believe that whatever we do, we should live it and make the most of it in this life. I happened to take 2 medical students and one of my daughters to Northeast India to do a medical trip back in April. We had the incredible opportunity to serve in multiple places, but one of the places we got to serve was Lama Tenzin. It has a Center for Education and Development, which is a center where since 2002 he has rescued primarily females from the Himalayas with chronic illnesses, debilities, in severe poverty, who are truly cast outs, and given them the highest education that there is to give in the area where they live and all the way through college. My daughter had the opportunity to just make incredible friends with those girls. Lama Tenzin is connected deeply to the Dalai Lama and the Oracle Nechen Kutenla, who we have the honor of being able to visit with us tonight. And as is all things, right? Just think about the things that have happened in your own life that you go, wow, how did that happen? How did we all end up here tonight? Well, we all ended up here tonight because Lama Tenzin was doing a tour that was part of his fundraising tour, so he connected with us and came to spend some beautiful days in the fall here in Greenbrier County. And he said, you know, I will be accompanying the Oracle during his speaking engagements in New York and Washington, D.C. Just last week, they were hosted by Nancy Pelosi in Washington, D.C. and transported here today. And he said, could I bring him here for a monkcation? And I said, yes, sure, why not? and that is indeed Lama Tenzin's motto for everything that he has done in the way he's helped people, which is why not? So tonight, and all of you all being here together was truly a why not moment. So we are all here, and we are just so honored to be able to have the Oracle Nechen Kuten La be with us. I'm going to allow Lama Tenzin to really introduce him. I'll get it wrong, so I'll let him introduce him. And then the way that we have this planned tonight really was everything that you see here. I mean, a huge thanks to our audiovisual people, not only to Dr. Roberts and Don Smith, and our people who've been here and all of our media, the caterers who are here this evening, and everybody from the community. I mean, this was the inception of this was like 4 weeks ago. So just thank you to everyone who made this fellowship happen. It's really cool. And am I missing anyone, Dr. Roberts? Dr. Nimitz is going to get on and actually do a welcome here as well. So he's going to give us his welcome, and then I'll let Lama Tenzin speak. Again, just to reiterate, so the structure for this evening is really not a structure at all. We're eating, we're fellowshipping. The Oracle is going to speak for a little bit about the significance of what they do and about health and healing. And then we're really going to open it up for about 30 minutes for a Q&A. And this is really a time of engagement for everyone. So please, I mean, the Q&A is really just our time to engage with him and one another. There's nothing formal about this at all. And then after that Q&A, he was going to do a blessing of our school. And then for anyone who would like an individual blessing, he'll remain here, and there can be a processional across the stage, and that's a very deeply personal thing. So if you'd like a personal blessing, then that will be towards the end of, at the end of our engagement here as well. So again, thank you all, and I welcome Dr. Nimitz, who is not here because it's his mother's 95th birthday today. And so he is coming to us live from New Jersey to welcome us and give part.
It is my honor to welcome Tibet's Chief State Oracle Healer and Spiritual Advisor, Nechen Kuten La. We have been anxiously awaiting your arrival, and we are truly, it's truly a great honor to have you and your companion monks here on our campus. My wife Nancy and I welcome you to the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine, and the only regret we have is that we're not there to welcome you in person, since we are with, as Catherine said, with my mother's, we're up with my mother in New Jersey celebrating her 95th birthday today. And in fact, they're here with me right now. I'm sitting in my mother's living room. But you're in very good hands. I am so very grateful for Dr. Don Roberts and the Office of Multicultural Student Affairs for hosting this special event, and all the staff that worked to make this event possible, our AVP staff, the O Cafe, Don Smith, and others, but especially for Dr. Catherine Calloway, our regional assistant dean, but also Nancy's daughter and my stepdaughter, for facilitating and providing the opportunity to make this occasion possible. I'll let her tell you more about the backstory, but it's just incredible what she has accomplished in her life and continues to do. And this special event is really because of her efforts. Greetings to our new friend, Lama Tenzin. who we welcomed to our campus a few months ago this year. Welcome back. And Nancy says hello, and it's good to see you again. And to our special guest, Nichang Kutanla, may we learn and be inspired by you, by your presence, by the fact that you're here with us. We are blessed by your presence, and we look forward to your words. You know, may we learn more about you, and may you learn more about us, about our medical school, about osteopathic medicine, about how we incorporate mind, body, and soul in helping people to overcome their health challenges, and learn more about this beautiful Greenbrier Valley, and come back for more investigations. We always welcome here. You know, there are many people here who are interested in what you are doing and showing us what you are doing. And we also want to show you what we're doing, because we want to better understand each other. We want to better understand you, and have you better understand us, so that we can support each other. I always say we're better when we work together. And I think this is a beautiful opportunity to get to know each other better. So again, thank you so much for the effort to come to Lewisburg. Many blessings to you and your companions, and may you have a safe and profitable journey. Blessings to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you guys. And this is my second time visit in this, university, and I'm honored and grateful. And I'm also honored and grateful to serve the Tibetan Oracles. You know, I left my monastery 25 years ago because I have to do my social engaged work, which is running the orphanage. Now I have 38 girls and 7 boys. You can see I have no hair left over. You know, it's not easy to work with the children, so be a monk. So anyhow, they have some special reason why I'm helping the Oracle tour in the United States since 2007. It's not about this something we are talking about it really some kind of religion things. I was the first time I met him, I asked him, would you like to talk about the global warming issue? Because I go up to the mountain trekking and I saw the global warming issue. He said, yes. So when since working 2007, since then now, I'm learning so much things about him. I serve many High Lama, so he has a very open mind. And he has a very, frankly, he living very simple. And also, it's easy to, you can reach and understand because of he work close by the Dalai Lama. And Dalai Lama is the same exactly. He's a very open mind, frankly, and he will talk about all the sentient things, not just only my culture, my religious. So that's the reason I help him. And also not only that one, he also talk about, he visited many times in Mongolia. We have, this trip, I'm traveling with one of our Lama Tenzin. His name is Lama Tenzin Rinchen. Please get up. So he is the director of the Nechung Monastery in India, and he's a very good friend of mine too. And we always traveled, since when he get a chance to come to America, I always take him to the monkation. He loves swimming. And we have also from Mongolia all the way back, Mr. Ganpat all the way back, and he is an assistant traveling with the Bayara, who is the assistant. They are also taking care of the Kudanla Mongolia project. He's the director of this project, because in Mongolia, Kudanla, every year he visits in Mongolia because of he has a lot of these, he go to most of this a mountain area, and he love to help some people who's orphanage and some medical issue and many things. Same time, he do a lot of people get blessed too. So the main thing is reason why I'm taking him in tour, because I really want to take him to connecting with something people like you, and not necessary to be you're a Buddhist, just as a humans, through human to human. That's where we are interacting. And I feel like the first time I visit here, and I say, well, here to everybody learning about the medicines. And once they're becoming a doctor, they are always giving service to other people, to curing something. But they needed some kind of energy protection. I said, why not? I talked to Dr. Catherine and said, why not? I can talk to the Tibetan Oracles, so he can come here, he can talk to other people, and then here and give a bless. So I believe, he has a very powerful energy blessing. You're not necessarily, I travel all over the place, and always I carry his blessing with me, and always something, because if you have some kind of internal, doing something for other people, that, really you need a kind of a blessing, what he gave it blessing to other people. So anyway, so I make it a little shorter. So I am social worker. I travel to the United States since 24 years, back and forward. So every year, I make a time here for 90 days, and I have to go to 45 different places. So I have a target each place, a 2-day each. So that's why since 24 years now, the people call me FedEx Lama, which is faster, reliable, and secure. So then I back to my orphanage. I serve the orphanage, and I serve to help the Kutnala, try to make it more connecting, taking a group to the other people, to the India and different places. So hopefully 2025, I'm organizing to tour to India, Bhutan, Nepal, and Mongolia. Because anybody who is interested on the future, we call the Compassion in Action Tour. It's not like a tourist. We do the action because we go to the old age home, we go to refugee camp, we go to this orphanage. So we take them to show them how can they help, And always I believe usually people when they make money, they're always looking for the best bank who can give a good interest and secure. So same thing invest your karma. Bank of Lama, I always say, so create your own karma and invest in the Bank of Lama. So that will get you benefit things. So, and thank you so much for the, coming to here, everybody. I know they, we are not really kind of entertainment, but it's a very important guarantee to your life. It's going to make a difference. So coming to here and listening his talk and blessing to know more about the Oracle, because since I travel many places, people has a confusing about some different few other oracles. So that's why I give this all the pamphlet, because you can understand what his role is, what his responsibility is, and who he is. So then we have a thank you for our translator. He is from here, Charlottesville, Virginia. So I special request him to come to here to translate what he going to talk, because I'm good with the project, about his project, but not good with the spiritual translator, which is I know they have a lot of God and goddess, which is I don't know really. I've been a 25 years gap. So he's good in this way. So, and then we have some of also Q&A. You can ask anything, and that's an opportunity. I don't know when he's going to come back, but we have 30 minutes, so anybody who we holding this what do you call this, mic, so anybody just raise a hand, Q&A, ask question, okay? So thank you so much. Thank you.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay, good. So first of all, on behalf of myself, I want to say thank you very much for inviting me to this very special place with such a extraordinary, remarkable figure, a historical figure, and sitting right next to me. And if I knew you Lama Tenzin's English as good as I just heard, I would not have come here. Perhaps I'll know a couple of few words and terminologies in Buddhism, but probably better than you. Otherwise, I really have no reason to be here. Anyway, and I was requested to introduce Venerable Tibetan Ngutu, which is states some translation says oracle, and the Venerable Tibetan Ngutu, and he wanted me to clarify, and he is not the oracle, but is a medium. medium. So there's a huge difference between medium and oracle. And he served as a medium, and he is a human being, he is a person, and so that's the number one clarification, and Venerable Tudem Ngudru is his name, and he wanted me to share with you. And then I was asked to introduce him. Well, first of all, the state oracle, or the traditions of a state oracle in Tibet, and it has a long history, is back to 16th century. So it has been a part of the Tibetan way of life and culture and religious practice. The state medium, or the medium of the oracle, the protector, not only served as a foreseen or foreteller, but rather also play the roles of the spiritual guidance and healer, and as well as the Dharma teacher. So therefore, he is, as I said, he's a historical figure, and he's a remarkable, extraordinary person whom I have this opportunity to introduce. So first of all, let me read the brief introduction here in print, and that way I will not miss anything or add anything unnecessarily extra. The present Nechung, which is a monastery, and Kutan is a medium. The Venerable Tudem Ngudru, that's master sit right next to me, was born in July 13, 1958 in Pari, Tibet. And he is the descendant of a famous Tibetan tantric master, Nganda Nyareva, which is a 13th century figure. And following the communist Chinese invasion of Tibet, the present Nechung Kutan and his family fled their homeland and took refuge in India through Bhutan in 1966. In 1971, he enrolled in a Nechung monastery, which had been initially re-established in modest quarter in Dharamsala in North India. Here, he underwent rigorous trainings in the spiritual and artistic traditions of the monastery. In 1984, after the passing away of the previous medium, Venerable Lobsang Jume, for about 3 years, there was no medium for the Nechung Oracle. His Holiness the Dalai Lama wrote a prayer for the speed recognition of a new medium, and commissioned Nechung Monastery and Drepung Monastery, with whom the oracle has a special relationship, to recite the prayer. Then, on the March 31st, 1987, during the special ceremony conducted by both Nechung and Drepung monks, the Venerable Tudem Ngudru suddenly became possessed by the oracular spirits for the first time. 2 days later, the Venerable Tudem Ngudru and the Nechung Monastery's Vajra Acharya, Venerable Tudem Pinso, were summoned by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. His Holiness the Dalai Lama asked the new medium to go into retreat for a few months. On July 25, 1987, the Kasha, the exiled Tibetan government cabinet, appointed the Venerable Tudem Ngudru as Nechung Kutan, a senior Tibetan government position requiring the official confirmation of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. On September 4th of the same year, His Holiness the Dalai Lama enthroned Venerable Tudeng Ngudru as the 14th Nechung Kutan. That's a brief introduction of Venerable Tudeng Ngudru.
So I want to say a few English. So here this night, so my brothers, sisters, everybody, I want to say, Tashi Dele. That Tonde Anzo Mengi Lapta Cheme Ludu Nambazure, Gigan Nambazure, De Chige, Nga de Tamshe Kugam Namadila, Ani, Ning Tawane, Tenja Samalia, Toshes Shui.
And tonight, I'm here in this distinguished school of medicine, medical school. I feel very honored and privileged and to have you all gathering here, and the faculty members of the school, as well as the students of the school. So thank you for coming and welcome.
And Lagwardo, the Kasholabdegi, President and Dr. Kadreki, the 13 Ani. I
particularly want to say thank you for the President Misler, as well as Dr. Catherine, for giving me this opportunity.
아니 당기 공도 단다 농디나네 마 가쇼르 메시지 나게기 아니 Dr. Misler 라 코나레 네 바sam디 슈유 코나 아말라 동ቄ가 공로국주 공항 소마르베 페베 깨가라 녜게 아니 깨가래 섬디텔 슈유.
President Misler, and we saw earlier on the screen, he was not able to be here with us physically because of his mother's 95th birthday. And so I would like to thank for President Misler and give the introduction and also gave me this opportunity. And I also would like to take this opportunity and wish Dr. Misler's mother a very happy birthday.
Teneda anzo zamulindi nalaya mi ta tungjur gyajutsi ta de sungshuore en mi 장보 합득할 때도 망독하고 쉬우지 안zo 초와 용고르데 en samlo 파시 사보 단도 미세야 코란이야 마신 되고지다 안zo 미 챙이 내 송고르데 디나네 지기 zamul인다는 멤버 망보 쉬어도 요 나네 안zo야 대적이 밀리세죠. 다 낭배 추였다는 시에 대박이도 조주상에 밀리지 때비나 인디나는 용유자로 장가.
So that's how I feel. It's a kind of amazed me often. And when you think about human condition or the world in which we live, in terms of human population, we have about 8.7 billion people on planet Earth. But when you look at this number, inconceivable number of the bodies of human beings from the spiritual point of view, and you were amazed because within this huge amount of the number of human beings, and there are no many of them actually from Buddhist point of view and able to receive the special kind of the body that is called endowed with 8 opportunities and 10 freedoms. So the 18 qualities, and not all of them had the privilege to have that.
다 다간난다기 점물링 디나래야 안조 뒤균 조화직투스 최나는 송을 때문에 송안서 통야기 속자 안조 점링 디나 댕에기 띠 튼로 리다 아니 남래 핑에기 답자 다간난데 최나를 예배 다 예신을 속었던 저 장볼로 때베기나 안조 미 정부 빼면서 용료제도가.
Then if you compare put it in context of life, and then look at the human being, the number of the human being actually is much smaller. Why? Because we have the life, different forms of life, living in the water or in the ocean, and the birds fly. Those who has the wings can fly, and the animals who can walking around or crawling, whatever. So those number of life for different forms of life, when you compare them to human being, the number of human beings is kind of smaller.
뭐다 딘데 인도 ngaanzo dige changma simje sok neb dige changma lolaya dewa devada dunghe medew ngaanzo miliya dewa devada dunghe medew nanda soja shamba digeleya jibuji kya yore.
So from Buddhist point of view, and regardless the forms of life or the bodies and in which they live, all sentient beings, just like human beings, we naturally inclined the natural desire, wanted to be happy and wanted to avoid the suffering. Similarly, all forms of life, we believe, also have the same inspiration, the same desire.
다 나간난다 ngaanzo zamlindanalaya chulo mangbu shivjore chulo dige changma chulo susu temba jogi duje thönleya legacha sungya ta ani ngembe cha pangya leya panglang ge lapcha chibuchi gyang yori.
And so when you look at our conditions, and then from a religious or spiritual point of view, we know that in the world we have a variety or great diversity of religious traditions, and even though they are different, but when you look at the very purpose of the existence of those religion, and then the founders of those religion, and you know they all share the same common goal, that is to teach their follower how to discard the evil or wrong deeds, but to commit to the virtues or the altruistic actions.
다 딘데기 줄로 망보 요르데 이내양 아니 최양 케말랭아 최 강롱리야 지기 케 말림베 직직당 따지 갸나 마르베 따와르지네 최 징엘라 믹세기 파다지기 가서 등순 제할 소바 아니 지기 상게될 아니 최세네 요마리스 경험지 요마리스 해야기야 딘데기 따와키 등에 직직 연구로 최잔 케말랭의 직직 최를 파 가쇼르 각자 징의 리직 최 강론 켈링의 장소 릭숨으로 차대도 와.
So we humans again, when you look into from a spiritual point of view, and we can see that we humans are naturally sort of break it into three different groups. One group of people who have a spiritual faith, who has a religious practice. And the second group of people, and then they kind of atheists, they don't care of the religion, and they don't bother to ask the questions, anything to do with spiritual or spirituality. For example, they don't want to ask the questions like whether there is a life after, whether there is a law of cause and effect, the karma. And so those are the second group of the individual in our human world. And then the third group of humans, they are kind of anti-religion. For example, like a communist Chinese, and they are the one who not only dislike or disbelieve in religion, but they are deliberately against the religion.
어때 딘덴 tumbusum gobenane 당안주 지당 최세 책디 심라야 요당야 롭존체 대세지물이 낭바 상계의 최 차샤나 안에 더돌라는 멤버 조베 상계 고반 토야라 르덴디 토네 롭존체 주의물이 딘데 인도 따다가는데 줄로 망무질 소소기 덤발이야 소와 지주도 담나 안에 디기살에 고야가 딘데 숭대도 잠바 당안주 저와 침부 겹세게 롭젠지 차대오래 다 추자네 케말리메 간을 추르바 두징에디 안 딘주 콘주 삼주 난기 내단다 베타 로가 차대도 다 직된디 나려야 안주 캡산 술도 띵 안주 담가 제르샤.
So between those three forms of the groups of individual and their choices of or the attitude towards the religion or spirituality, and so it is up to us. Basically, we have to then compare those three individuals and to see the form of life that they chosen, and so who is having a more meaningful life, who is have a more kind of a spiritual life, and so then we needed to do the investigation and to find out which the path we have to take.
땅 안주 남바치기 벤 토네 슈비나 아니 최체베네 개와 디다 치메니가리아 펜도요 송고로와 개와 딜레 가르 팽고서 소소기 심규 두부디기 아니 셴베기 심기리아 가쇼르 셴베기 심 가족기 외쳐데 소설 대화 연구를 나간다 개와 딜레 레 개와 사베디 데부디 개와 치멀리 키야유업들이 딘데 토네 안주 낭베기 출이야 디코네마다 렌데 남샤 망부시 송고를.
So in Buddhism, and the tradition, the religion is called the Dharma, and the Dharma is basically the transformation of the mind. And so what we the 讲的，你的的介绍，大概讲的确实三主要的就介绍啊，大家用就介绍了大概。
No, 최세디 셈르 주규 다야 치코란 최세 오리. 벽에나네. 셈르 주규 다야디 때마 최고 랍제 디토네 아니 냠내 전에 셈르 주어 다는 뭐도지. 시 멸람견에 셈르 주어 두고 말해.
Okay. So yes, then we have to make a comparison and then to find out whether this be a spiritual person or chosen a spiritual path and dedicates yourself to the spirituality, whether it has any benefits or not. And so from Buddhist point of view, definitely there's a huge, greater benefit, because Buddhism is believe that the Dharma is about the transformation or the improving and the changing, and ultimately is enlightening the one's consciousness. So in this sense that so you adopted the spiritual path such as Buddhism, and you will understand the profundities of the nature of your mind, and you will understand the meaning and the purpose, not only here in the life on earth alone, but something more deeper and more larger and than the earthly life alone.
Today December 상계기 nga마 강제 단대 룰렸다. 치마 강도 단대 셈을 따서니 개왕님아 다 켈링해지는 개왕님아기 가르치에부터 단대 룰된 딜랑 아주 따요들이 개와 치마 야부 고도나 안 수술 락발이 요리 개와 치마 야든예 된 단다 렌데 수시도 순 아니 상계 순셰베 최대 냠내잖아 다 개와 치마라 따요로와 어디 순고를.
So Buddhism tried to understand or develop, introduce a holistic view, and or try to explain the life and the conditions of the life from the karma point of view, meaning that from cause and cause-effect point of view. And like Buddha Shakyamuni himself said, if you want to know who you are, how you your experience of how you experience your life, your various state of being, existence, and so it should been it should be taken as the reflections of what you have done in the previous lifetime, right? So if you wanted to know what's going to be happen to your life after death, and then it will become clear if you examine your body, speech, or mind of the action which you dedicated or you executed in this lifetime.
딘데 디자마타 넘버 상계게 최나 레 준데기 따와 땡중 남샤 시부지 자치무 송고 당경엘이야 도도 캐드링 그랑기 송부리 다건데 좀해야 된가서 망부지 레게 따사제 내데 좀을 쏘는 거요 내주리 신단다 산에 딜이야다 멤버 망부 요르데 동원 대표비딩 가서 깨왕이만에 레직사니 엔 딘데기 때 데부 땡제 데링 가서 존마도 간도 되게 평에 되게 원심을 제요 말다 키나 저도 원심을 내가 얘기 태가 원심을 매백한 되게 깨와 망고는 가서 레사베 데부디 되지는 민제 동원 좀 해야 임됐다 근데 랜드에 남샤세야 돼 배는 충사지대 배준셔야 되는데 동안
So the beauty of Buddhist philosophy and the notion of the karma, and we can take the advantages of in this very gathering, this very event here, we see it really functions, and at least from Buddhist point of view. And other than the cause and effect, the law of karma, and Buddhism also teaches the idea of interdependent origination or dependent origination. Which both concepts teach us one thing, that things, events taking place not of random, not without a cause. Right? It's something that's happening or being acted or committed. For example, like tonight, and when Dr. Catherine gave the opening speech, and at one point she mentioned about, this is very kind of unexpected, or it's a kind of a very special and out of the sort of a normal the event, but it's very special. Why is it special? And is because from Buddhist point of view, is involved with the karma. Okay? Maybe among the audience, the ladies and gentlemen sit out there, you probably know each other, more or less. But from my point of view, and I'm a totally stranger to you, however, we sit together, we share the same space, and appreciate each other's company. So, which from Buddhist point of view is not random, it's not a coincidence, and which is a strong indication, means that we have had some kind of karmic bond, karmic relation, connections in the previous lifetime. Because we had this special relationship in the previous lifetime, so therefore we have this opportunity of reunion, or be able to see each other again through this kind of events.
다 동원 믹스에들이야 당에 가면 슈스 가쇼르다 랍데디나래야 개겐치모 망부페요레 아니 당난데 메게 톨이야 종단난게게 랍다 망고요레 띵아 셈바타리 빼머세기 고급이 아버지다 나란데 남바주 제니 가부시부중 가인 슈는 안조 다 미르덴지는도 깨간나지 동에 딜레라가 다 동에 체요 말에 아니 딘데기다 안조 룰은 나자 좀 간이야 아니 맹가지 땐 디난 멤버질 땐 제제 아니 다바 내일 타야기 답시 제고도 디난기다 단다 멤버게 해라주레 럽dim주레 룩두주레 맹게 토르 도와 윤두 아니 단다 디양 단다데 셈다 루 안다난다지 넘버 쉐바 센디델이야 켈랭에게 디젠징나네 딘난두 디페머시 개침부지 통송.
So I must take this opportunity and to very sincerely and share my most profound great attitude, and to have this opportunity and tonight here. I really mean it. I see this as such a special gathering, a special occasion, and the place. The reason for this is because we know that each of us and all sentient beings, we care the one thing that is how to avoid the suffering. Right? among the suffering, we know the suffering, there's categorized speaking, and there's 4 forms of suffering: suffering of birth, the suffering of age, and aging, and suffering of illness, and finally the dreadful last event, the suffering of the death. So we all kind of more or less have a fear, concerns about the sufferings. And so this, I've considered this occasion and this space, place at this School of Medicine is very special to me personally, is because you guys, faculty members, the professors, and the staff members, as well as the students, medical the students, and you will get here, and so you all are trying your best to address the one thing, that is how to reduce the suffering, how to cure those who are suffered and mentally and physically. On the top of that, I'm truly amazed, also feel very honored to be here and present with you, is because you are not only concerned or only showed a great interest to the well-being of the body and the mind, but on the top of that, you also care something is called soul or spirits.
어딘데 인도 믹스에게 손안 침부시고 중소 아니 균대네 안저 다 룹도 남아서 쉬고요. 맹기다 롭제마 티나마간 아니 소소 셈려야 심규 상부용야다 닝지해야 될 배전한데 빼면서 개침무요리 빼나 안저 배배 멤버이네 자다 주다 매기 돈에 두스 마도지 샤주제 리시라 요마레 안다 맹가 찍네 템베 루루 찍바이네 엄지야 튀언서도 내발라야 팬도 지준디 가리톤을 두고 올 수도 있지만 엄지되게 심규 상보 심규 jambo 셴베게 심규 용의 멤버지는 아니 나서 찍바지래 매 찍바지 때 땡에 유네 엄지 디기 라고네 매세버데 매 패야 되는 건좀 마고 용대도 딘데 인도서마다 안서 멤버싱에디 심규 상보 거에 디 빼머시 개치무래 디다 디나리 맹가나리야 내종 수용네 지로 겜바요는 수수 파메 두시샤 로직바이는 수수 빙자 두시샤 로충아요는 수수 부인 섬지 심규 딘지지타네 임지메베 돈에 아니 맨주 남이는 덴데 갸자 갸탐바 펜도체 용구리 섬도.
And I especially want to share my strong feelings with those of you here as students in this eminent, distinguished medical school. And that is, in the context of Tibetan medicine, we know that compared to Western medicine, and we don't have a sophisticated medical equipment and the researchers, and as well as the techniques of the treatment. However, we would merely depend upon the herbs. And so our technique is a kind of human oriented. However, one thing I find that in Tibetan medicine is very special is that when we train the medical students, and not only train them the medical knowledge and the techniques, but also equally emphasize the importance of the practice or dedication and development of compassion, altruism, the kindness. Because it is personally also from my own experience that throughout the Tibetan society, we do believe that the doctors who are caring and very compassionate, and then when you go and ask him or her and to fix your medical problems, and it's the same medication you received from that individual, because of his mind, the streams of or the continuity of his or her consciousness is gentle and sweet and very caring and compassionate. So therefore, somehow it's transformed the substance of the medicine itself as if. Why? Because people feel that that medicine, same medication, but it makes a huge difference. So therefore, and I would like to share my aspiration, and so I wish you, the medical students, and present here tonight, and in your career, once you finished your trainings and go to the real world and look at those elderly patients when they approach you and have a mind, oh, they are my parents. Right? And when you see someone coming in the same age group and they say, oh, they are my friends. And when you see young people, the kids approach you for medical treatment, you say, oh, these are my kids, my children. So have this attitude and have this kind of altruistic attitude, and is not only morally, ethically is sound and decent, but it makes a huge difference in terms of treating the patients.
디데제 다 딘데이디 삼바 아니 죽델이야 다 캐난 남바조 맹기다 찰레낭이 등에게 다 낭배추토네 아니 캐난조 찰레 자왈람도 용야다 아니 심제 셴라야 펜도용 제동에 멜람지 동이 엔딩에 될이야 당안조 디숭구리 쇼게 야 람바당 안조 멜람게야야 세미시 심제 탐제 대화당 대외교단 덴버 규직 심제 탐제 동해단 동해의 교단 대화를 규직 심제 탐제 동해 매베 대화단 매제월 규직 심제 탐제 일이 자단이단 대외 땅용란 내버 규직 있다 간소 남바 상매의 쇼게 멜람디 개그리 대 된다 가르세도 심제 탐제세도 로와 미자 마임베 즉 로와를 두고 심제 탐제 디나 취되어리 되게 심제 탐제 대화당 대외교단 덴버 규직 순둥에래 규지 매월 대부 용미도 대화 딜이야 토비하게 유다 데모 규지 mellom 당부된데.
So, and I'm going to close my short presentation, and before I finish, and I would like to say short prayers. And so I wish that you share my aspirations and my prayer, because the content of my prayer is merely focused on the altruism, meaning that so when you wake up in the morning, right, and so you should say a prayer. And in the case of Buddhism, the prayer is the four immeasurable thoughts. Okay, four immeasurable thoughts. Those four immeasurable thoughts is the starting point of the Buddhist prayer. And those four are, may all sentient beings free from the suffering and causes of suffering. May all sentient beings devoid of separated from or endure the happiness and the causes of happiness, and may all sentient beings who are appreciating, enjoying the happiness, never separated from that state of happiness, and may all sentient beings abiding in the equanimity and the peace. So those are the four immeasurable prayers I'm going to share with you.
당당 한조 낭배 멜람 교면 난다 한조 줄로 패치라 다가랑 찍고 요래 딘자 쇼게 한조 야 샤만네 멜람 디교니 아니 니메고노 소소기 잘래 가리 남바이네 지 셴레 패야기 안디 간로 소소기 쇼게네 담제샤ን 대리 님어등에 야부치기 밀레 펜토이 그세 패모드네 네버 게임에서야기 딘데 담제지 심나나 디시버지 패지 모레.
So I'd also like to share how, as a Buddhist practitioner, we do. And so when we when we open eyes and say these four immeasurable thoughts, we also take a kind of oath, right? And pledge that throughout the day we want to try our best and to dedicate ourselves to the benefits and the well-being of others. And at least we will try our best to help others. If not, at least we will try our very best to avoid the harm others. So that's the oath, and that's the practice. That's the mind we make. Then we determine. Once we determine in doing so, and throughout the day, and we're going to remind ourselves and to recall, and then that very determination or that mind. So this is, I guess, this is not only unique to Buddhist practice, but rather is a shared common spiritual practice. Why? Because throughout the world, any religion, if you go approach, they definitely will say the same prayer, meaning may all sentient beings free from suffering, cause of suffering. May all sentient beings be happy and endure the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings and never separate from the happiness they achieved. May all sentient beings and living and abiding in the peace and the equanimity. So therefore, yes, and that's how we do, and I would like you follow or try this model of the way of life.
No, that the 금세 친구 요리 melom디래야. 간수 심제 탐제 슬라고 디 미자마임베 소자 상마디나 뒤에디 간수 베나 탄다 기나주 소저간 탄다 권다 취베 셰라디라 심제 망부지기 대화 딜텐데 요리. 딘데 인디 잠바 간수 세디간기 파메기 애니 거딘 컨데스 겸 간수 소수 싱기로와 딘난다기 심제 셴바디게기 치로 도만에 다지 소수 파마 마잼지 게메숭으로 파마 제베 내가라 단대 류댕기 파메 거딘 좀 시다레디 당아주 된거 말에 딜레 때네 심제 탐제 시디 잠바 제와 침부시 예파 캡야일이야 슈틱도 하고 딘데 좀 셰베이나.
And I guess it's probably is important or useful and helpful to share the notion of may all sentient beings. Why all? Not all just sentient beings, but all sentient beings. Because all sentient beings means all forms of life, and including the individuals that we know or we don't know. And for example, the very meal tonight, you appreciated it, and then even though just the kind of a meal that you consumed, you enjoyed it, but when you look in and think about how this meal will be presented and become and something that you can appreciate is involved with the numberless individuals involved and the causes and involved, and so therefore it's stretched to all the aspects of the way of life. So therefore it's not as simple as you think just meal and I had it. In fact, it is deeply connected to millions or many others individuals. So in Buddhism, actually, we're talking about the more we bring the much larger picture that is a notion of a mother sentient being. So when we say mother sentient being, is based on the idea of a reincarnation. So in this lifetime alone, to raise you and through the pregnancy and the childhood and all the way until you become in the adults, and so your parents, how much hardship, how much work and they have to do and they dedicated and in order to raise you, and so their kindness is just there, you can't argue. And similarly, throughout if you put this as an example and then think about the reincarnation, then previous life, and then previous life, so all sentient beings are actually deeply connected, and that's why we have the notion of a mother sentient being.
다 당한난다 다 상계기 최기 풍부 제디시동 손님도 뒤에나 먼저 지시나래야 dom대래.
So yes, so some of you probably are interested about what's the essence of Buddhism. If you ask this question, and the essence of Buddhism can be explained through the 4 lines.
당고들이야 딕받지야 매자신 개와 표숨 소보제 랑게 셈니 용순두 데니 상게 템바이 소야데 당고데 딕바 마지스 제 숨고르 딕바 제바이나 딕베기 데우디 둥에 용고르 둥에 안주 메데브레 제자 딕바 마사스 디숨고르.
So the 4 lines, the first line is abandon the evil action, and the second line is cultivate the virtuous action, and the third is to damn or subjugate or train your mind, purify your mind, and then last is this is the essence of Buddha's teaching. And so take the first line, says, to abandon the evil or wrongdoing, and that's again based on the idea of cause and effect. So they do not commit to any wrongdoing. Why? Because there's consequences you have to deal with it.
다 생각이 말이야 개와 표숨 속버체에서는 계획이 대우되게 대화 투고 재산 개와사 세송고.
So second said they committed to all the virtuous action. That means so if you do dedicate the virtuous action and then accumulate the merits, and then you will appreciate the result later.
다 스마드 랑게 셈네 용수 뒤손디 디게 유겐디가 용야 참을 심규 머디 토네 아니 가소레 nga세데 ngan지디 슈크체타 엔 셴세데 충타드 디게 용두 잠 수수 심규디 듀비나 안디 상게게 템바 인스 어디 송고르다.
So the third lie is significant. Why? Because it teaches to purify the mind or subjugate or control the mind. The reason why I say you need, as a Dharma practitioner, you need to purify and damn your mind is because within our mind we have a misperception of self. That is self-centeredness. That's a form of egoism, meaning that we always focus on, concerned about our own well-being, and we abandon or ignore the others' the well-being. And so consequently, so we created the negative karma, and then we had to deal with it.
어딘데 인디 잠바다 디 단다 시디 nganzu zamulling mi changme nyamlen chere tande thujudeta zamulliya maada ani mogtu ta thude ani dagna da khuyu tande thone nganzu lingde dina dego dige din tabu gya de nganzu zamulling na denge midigele gen yore dinde nganzu chamdu na ya di kullundi shembeg sem thone chamdu yungre bena kimza jignale chamdu yagu yone kimza di shidi bagyu chagre andi yenyo thongba kimzezo 다가나 용 정말 김제를 때는 디서구디 시디 파유 저그리 아니 다가난다 파 계급 안데네 계급네 파 계급 지든 전문된 저와차데 교조디 랑기 셈디 아니 사운다 심기 상부디 셴베기 로디 슉체로 당 아니 랑진제 로디 슉충 당다 다디 최자 말에 안조 상주를 두리 점리 시디 당 저리 딘데인디 점마 동원게 고거디 쓰는 창맥 도스체제 나로나 아니 소소 정보 존재 정말에 근데 세계도 세제 랜디 나로나스유이.
I believe there's four verses, or they show the description of Buddhism, and is not the Buddhist teaching alone or per se, but rather is a shared common value, because no one would argue that to dedicate the virtuous action, abandon the non-virtuous action, and to purify one's negative mind. And so all this are this common value is shared value. And I believe particularly nowadays, in this very days, the world in which we live, because we have the wars going on, we have so much social and tumors and tensions and conflicts and between the communities and the nations, and so natural disasters and so much the dismay and sufferings are going on. So all this are as a result of one thing, that is our misperception of self, our self-cherishment, because that is the root cause of all the unsatisfactory and life experiences. So therefore, I urge you, audience here, if you find what I have shared with you and make sense, has some kind of good qualities, and please bring home and try to practice it. And if your friends, families, others, and out of curiosity ask what happened, what you learned, and please feel free to share what I have shared with you tonight.
And that tanda tamadelenge melam sundi pixiste ani dijola kinamzu tiwotilenda tichira mindu chezu dimbali inen kamangazalum mindu ine tiwa khashen naurona ani dijude namzu tonde yongezu ya pyanenge tande 거우죠 디나리아 다 자치무든데 유 and cannot all 샤스 in the shoe.
So I'm going to close my presentation here. I just noticed the time is very run out of time. But as we the program and designed tonight, we still have a Q&A session. And so if you have time, and I would love to take the questions. And I want to say then my prayers, which I promised. And then to the end after QI, and if you want to come in and get the blessings from this ritual objects, which is very powerful, spiritual, and the blessed and consecrated, the sacred objects. And those of you individually, if you're interested, and please approach and to me, I will bless you.
담멜람디에 조응아주 점리 시디 용하다 먹주목이 마용하다 SM제 탐제 교내 전주 기sem을 무지게베 멜람인도 아니 얘기 된만 덤바드 안 남바저기 소소소 멜람 교제도 스테이스 샤고문 없이 나오러나 안디 조댕에 멜레송아 따데 다른 멤버들 더여서 상계 멜레송아 데스도 안데네 참시하기.
So when I say the 4 lines of or 4 immeasurable thoughts, the Buddhist prayers, I would love to you reflect upon or meditate on the contents, the meaning based on my description, and just reflecting on those contents and meditate on that. I will say while I'm reciting and say the prayers. Toward the end of my prayer, and I would like to add one more. The practice that is the mantra of the medicine Buddha. And the reason I want to add up is because this is a medical school, and you all here and is related to the medicine. So therefore I want to share the mantras for Buddha, medicine Buddha.
zemje namje dewa dan dewe gyudan dembara gyuji semje tamje dungye dan dungye gi gyudan jewara gyuji semje damje dungye mebe dewa dan meje wara gyuji semje tamje niri chadan nidan jewe 당용 라 네버라 유로제 전조 semjo рем보제 마게 바나게 유로제 개와 냐마 메바야 고네 곤도 베와라이조 온셀레제 제세자냥에 메 저랑원게 메제 샤야다 대와라 샤바게라 차자로 the bags of Gurumaya, Tamaraya, Tatakataya, are the sons of Budaya. Bags of bags of mud bags of bags of some of the so now bound the bags of Gurumaya, Tamaraya, Tatakataya, are the sons of Budaya, the bags of bags of mud bags of bags of some of the so now bound the bags of Gurumaya, Tamaraya, Tatakataya, are the sons of Budaya, tear down bags of mud bags of bags of some of the so. Namo Bango de Begs of Gurumaya, Tamaraya, Tatakataya, Arati Sansan Budaya, Teadam Begs, Ma Begs, some of those. Namo Bango de Begs of Gurumaya, Tamaraya, Tatakataya, Arati Sansan Begs, Ma Begs, Ranza Samunga de So, Simje, Neva, Jinia, Nudo, Nele, Dojo, Nene Malu. 다도 중원의 매버라이쇼 매주 세제 계획 지난다 텐들루와 매베 대바단 다게 하섬다베 도도 남다 매베 내그 뉴루쇼 거리라베 고베 싱어소 펜다 대와 말루조에 내제레스와 대제자소 샤베 시데 바도 덴조로지 전주 sem조 보지 마게 바나게 요제 개와 냠바 매바 고네 곤도 배워라쇼. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kodinla and Special Tashila, who is the translator. Just without this one, it's not possible because, again, I say I'm not good with the spiritual translator. So this is the first public talk, especially for the Western people in this tour. So I'm really honored and thanking for the Kudanla. And I believe, like, in every journey, if you take a good thing in your life, take it. It's good for your soul. I know that you guys are good in the physically and the mentally, but not in emotionally. His prayers are very helpful to emotionally, people who are really needed help for the emotionally. And other things like, people who want to be helped, oracles in his India monastery, please contact. They have monks here. He's Lama Tenzin here. He is the one. Anybody who has a question or about the monastery, anybody want to help, contact him. We have a guy with the Mongolian, which is here, Gunput. Anybody has a question about the Mongolia project, please contact him. He has an assistant who can speak English. And also, like, even myself, I'm a volunteer. I'm traveling with him. Honestly, I'm a monk, but I'm still every single time when he speaks and he give a bless, I feel like a very, a good energetic, and absolutely you are too. And also, like, he's going to give one of these, like a yellow green. And in Tibet, we use this for, like, put in the amulet and carry on for the protections. And there have been many, more than 3 pieces. You can wrap in the piece of paper. You can put in the car, like we call the car karma. You can put in your wallet or purse. It's good for your, like, not waste your money. So it's just protect the energy. There's many we use this, and this precious pill, when he trance, that time he give a lot of bless. So it's not every Lama made this one. He's the only one. So anybody who wants to receive this one, and you see this amulet, it's not a common, like, if you see this amulet inside, there is so much very ancient, precious, object inside there. So we, like, he traveling all the time with this one, because sometimes in your body, like, they have a negative, like a blockage. So this, when you get this blessing, it's a cleansing or purify, and a lot of stuff things. So I believe this one is very good. So anybody who wants it, please come on the right side to go and get this blessing. Before this one, and I don't know, we have a time for the Q&A. Most of you got already a lot of information. If you can, I always say, like, if you need more information, go to second God called the Google. I use Google too. People who ask me question anything about religious, go to reach the second God. You have a YouTube. You can type the Tibetan Oracle India Dharamsala. You can see exactly today. You see the guy here standing with you. That's a different person there. You're going to love to see this one, and you can learn more about. And we're wishing to hopefully next year he can be visit here. So that's one of my requests. And thank you. And we have a 2 mic. I don't know. We have a time for the Q&A, but we have a little bit time squeeze. I don't want to be, you can be tired. So we might be taking 5 questions, but not seriously question, okay? Just gently question. So yeah, anybody who will raise hand, and we're happy to give this one. Anybody has a question? Any question? Yes, here we go. Speak loudly. So you stand up.
Hi. When people come to you to ask for help, how do you determine what's best for them in that moment?
That Tande Negam Negabdilla Kanzo Ya, Jumze soon the Motonga Taji Chitu Mari. That Chujung paper Galia and Kanzo Gange Didushuna, Chujung, number Loa Chade or did Dini Kavayo or so.
I guess there's 2 ways to answer your question, or I have 2 answers to share with you. First of all, and in this stage of my being, right, and whoever come in and ask me for help, and I have to do inquiry. I have to use the rational and the reasons, and then determine the cause, and then offer the advice. But once I'm possessed, and the oracle what took in place, and then whatever the message come from the oracle, and then that's according to that situation or circumstances.
Any question? We have a left side. Grace is there. Maybe you can show this one.
Okay, so as far as being a Buddhist, what is your preferred method of fasting your mind?
You say fasting, right?
Purifying or
Oh.
fasting of the mind. If you have, per se, a negative
Okay.
cycle or negative karmic cycle,
Okay.
the preferred method as far as his teachings or his connection to the holiness.
아니 되게 공에 디 랑기 삼리 용수 두셔야 당 삼주 두야 당 지 삼주 다지 네 나 장마스 거를 다 따바지요와 저마디 장야기 삼주기 저마 장선다 삼주 네 삼주 두베스는데 아니 디 작품데 놓라 아니 탑란디 삼주 두야게 탑란디 베다다 삼바투야 당 지그 마론베 론 담데 요베든디시게 미신베이나 아니 탑란 약슈디 삼두스나다 아니 지그 간소레 디 딱바장에서나 삼장에서나 탑란 약슈디 가는 거지.
타만 약슈디 셈드데 랑레 현집에 셈드레 소소레 현세 자치무세야디 디셈 유드에 탑시 상슈디 디리 당보데 소소레 현디 딱 하고 싶어요 올때 다 약슈다래.
I know it is extremely difficult, but it's very effective. Right? The most effective, the one that is instead of being self-cherishment and be others' cherishment.
간선에 란세데 소소 강사직이 현세데 타예버리.
When we say the others' cherishment, to cherish others, love others, because based on the very logical reason, you are, as far as yourself is your well-being is concerned, you are only one single individual, but others are infinite.
3 questions, so 3 questions left over.
Thank you, first of all, for being here. I was wondering, who is the oracle that comes through you, who speaks through you?
다 한디 내중 추종 세디 20지리 20바 수미 기내 중이지 단디 아니 나타 수젠바 담지 셈바세디 딜레야 20바디 페엔드 인디가블 내중 오라클 내중 추종 슈데리 단데게라 내중 구덴세 강사들 디인디 디인이 개바죠레 다 단다 저들 수레 소한테 20바디 갈페 20바디 간데조르스나 아니 디양 아니 파버제네스다 저와유베 숨마지레스 벽이다 벽 준대신감 게 저와유바 하고도 겨울무치다 저와유바 딘데지 숨마다 숨마직 망보요데 안 딘데지 숨마딩 알페 데 숨마디 체는 가르쇼스는 도지 탁된 디쇼스.
Okay. The oracle, or the spirits sometimes you translate, which is by essence or the nature or that the very identity of that oracle is a enlightened being, is a wisdom being, right? It's a wisdom being, and I am here literally means the basis of that being to perform his deeds, his enlightened deeds. So that's why there's two completely separate the entities there. And I'm here as a person, and so his identity, the oracle, and as I said, is an enlightened being, is a wisdom being, is because he is associated with the Buddha of compassion, Avalokiteshvara, And so according to Tibetan tradition, and he is committed to the well-being of others, and among the retinues of Avalokiteshvara, he's one of them. And his official name is Dorje Da, and he committed to protect and the well-being of others, and to maintain the peace and restore the normalcy, that kind of perform that kind of job.
Thank you for being here. I'm curious to know that if practicing silence is a way of life for you, and if so, what is the longest amount of time you have been in silence?
The silent, what you said, silent.
I'm curious to know if practicing silence is a way of life for you, and if so, how much time have you spent, what is the longest amount of time you've spent in silence?
알레로스다 지당 ngakje nga thone nyeba mabu sungore tsiki thone dinde gi nga je che ne ani shunge dinde yore dile ta dile tuzu dinde jing ngakje chewor simikse yo mare soso lo to tumbuji 가시게 니샤 주지 쟁에 요래 배는 아주 육내 딘데 던도 좀봐 난 육내래 니먼니서 기재자는 마시 당한다게 추다 칼라다 가양 마섭제가 어제 잠매인배 아니 가서 칼라자는 마섭제 돼야 된대 요래 딘저 당라야다 지난 아주 거듭제 군대 당고래 류고네 거듭제네 다 추주배지 그래서 단 딜이야 아니야 디기 칼라 아니 샘띵 이제 네디 시내가는 딘데 고미아에 딘년부 용세를 할.
Okay. So the silence and my kind of immediate response or feeling is related to the speechless, or you remain cut off from the activities of verbal activity, and so you remain in silence. Means you say nothing, you speak nothing, and keep yourself verbally quiet. And in that sense, that you pretty much depend upon your suitability, the individual's capacity. You are the one that can decide how long and how often and where you want to, and you can decide to all the time or whenever you remembered. And so it's pretty much depend upon your own personal individual circumstances, silent. And speak of silence, I know it's very important for us to be to take this practice of being silent or remain in the state of verbal action, and so abandon the verbal action. Why? Because speech and especially the random speech and pointless speech could cause a lot of confusions and harmless and conflicts and this kind of thing. So therefore, I've been trained to be silent and not spoken in a certain period of time, and has great benefits. Is good practice. And aside from this silence, I guess you also can bring the meditation itself. Right? And so once you are in the silence, a mode of the silence, a state of the silence, and you can consciously, mentally to practice single-pointedness, and that's his meditation.
Okay, thank you. So now we're starting the one by one to come to who want to get their blessing. So we can just come by this way, okay?
I did want to just kind of thank everybody again for being here this evening. I'll tell you something. Regardless of what your beliefs are, whatever your foundations are, we are always learning. We are a school that embraces learning every day. My daughter had a really interesting essay that she had to write, and I was helping her write it last night, and it was what it meant to her to be an American. And I will tell you, one of the things that came out from that is just that in America, we have the privilege of celebrating diversity. I have had the privilege and honor of living in many other countries, and whenever I come back home, I am impressed upon the fact that we have the privilege to celebrate diversity in this country, that we believe in loving our neighbor, and that we believe that humanity is the foundation of democracy, which is the backbone of this country. So I just thank you all for being here tonight to celebrate diversity with us and to open up that door of learning and walking through it, whatever that might look like for you all. And for the medical students who are here in this room, you all will hear me say this so many times, but you have such a privilege to be at an intimate place in people's lives, to be of service, and to always have that heart of service. The medicine that he was speaking of, that pill bottle that they get, I don't know if you've ever heard this saying, but my grandmother always told me, don't cook angry. Nothing will come out if you cook when you're angry. It just won't taste right. But if you put love into it while you're cooking, the whole thing's going to taste different. Well, when you're taking care of your patients, when you put love into that, whatever they receive from you for treatment, it's going to be more effective. So put love into everything that you do. And with that, I will stop talking. And again, just thank you all so much for being here tonight.
So the last thing, when you come in, and I'm going to place this sacred objects on top of your head, and you might wonder what kind of things inside of this box. And inside the box, there is an image of the statues of Buddha Shakyamuni, and also the image or the statues of Tara. The manifestation of wisdom, the female Buddha, and the Tara. And similarly, also have relics of the Buddha. So that's why it is the substance of inside this box is considered very sacred, special, and either you have a spiritual belief or not. And so we know that mind is play the key role as it plays the determining the factors. So therefore, and just have a good intention and good thoughts while you touch this sacred objects. And also, lastly, in the small and the plastic bag, and you're going to receive the blessed, ritually consecrated the seeds, and which is again, you can use whichever the way you want to use it. But basically, is play the functions as the protection. No. Oh, yes. So one of the important things is that earlier we talked about the possessions of the oracle, the wisdom being, Dojita, and this the specially produced, ritually consecrated the substances was blessed by wild oracle who possessed the base of the deeds. Yeah, so yes, in that little plastic bag, what I'm talking about. That's why it makes it very special.